every human being on the planet Earth has 256 great, 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 great grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those 256 for you are Native Americans?
All of them.
And you know this how?
Because can't nobody prove that we
No,
came
no, no,
from
no, no. Don't
Africa.
tell me what
You
nobody
can't
can
prove
prove.
us
No, no, no,
both
no, 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 no,
because
no, no,
my
no.
grandmother told me so.
How
How
does
can you prove
Nikki?
I came from
So
Africa?
do
You
you have
can't
the
tell me I
names?
came from a
Do you?
country I know a
Nikki,
continent
The
I know
name
nothing
Nakia is
about.
pretty
so
African.
basically, you're Native
As
American
is her
because nobody can
entire
prove
family.
you're not.
I'm indigenous to this land. This is
Oh
You're,
my
my
but
I'm
soil.
not
but
going to
God.
make that claim. You stated that
What is
I'm working with white folks, and you can't
you
prove
just
that.
said you got
So
white sympathy. You just said that.
what the does that mean? It's white people who
What do
sympathize
you
with
mean?
pan
What does it mean?
It's
What
white
does
people
it
who pan
mean?
who it's white people.
If you're
It's white people
telling
who pan
me
for Pan
that
African.
you got a problem with
About that.
Africans, but you
That's
ain't
a
got a problem
problem.
with white folks,
Dr. Goddess
then
just mentioned the whole
you're
Democratic
not really
establishment
committed to
and she's a
liberation,
Pan
brother.
African. You guys are not serious. What are you talking about? Have the same energy
Brother.
for European land.
No, but I respect you, brother. We still brothers. All right,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we
No, we
we,
still
we still
brothers. I
brothers,
think we just got different ideology. So if you're talking about
and
Hillary
we can
Clinton,
respect that,
you gotta,
and I
yeah,
can respect that.
yeah. Like you
But
gotta respect and build on
it's
that. Like,
hard to be at peace with an
no,
ideology based on the division of African
I see.
people.
So look, when
mm.
it come to unity, right? Like if I could accept the fact that I'm a different African, right, or I'm a
How
different
you different, brother?
listen,
Because the white man
ethnic.
put chains on you,
No,
so now
so
your
listen,
genetics and everything is altered?
Prince, Prince. If you're not
That's
gonna recognize,
ridiculous.
you just recognize all
Why
these
are
people
you
with
giving the
different.
white man so much power?
Yo, you just recognize all these Africans with different cultural views based on your American experience.
Yes, but it
And
ain't based on slavery
now,
because all of them was
now
enslaved.
I
The
can't have
Haitians
no.
was
I
enslaved.
don't
The
have. And
Cubans
now
was enslaved. The
apparently
Jamaican.
I don't have
I'm
enough
not
smart.
talking about no Jamaican
Apparently,
history based on
apparently,
slavery. I'm
apparently I don't
talking
have
about
enough
based on a
smarts to
unique
understand the
culture that
differences
grew out of
between
their
culture.
experience.
So
The
apparently I don't have
freedman
enough
ideology is based on what the white man called you, what the white man did to you,
no,
what the
bro.
white man thinks of you, and ultimately what you want the white man to do for you. That's why I have a problem with your ideology.
So listen, like you just gave Africa a lot of grace when you recognize that
He
they're
said a lot of grace. That's my mother.
colonial.
What you talking
You
about?
said they're
Your mother too.
you said that they're impacted by colonial oppression. Now you can't
Yes.
you didn't give African Americans, Black Americans, I mean, let's say what you say, American Africans, that same grace. You're not
What are
recognizing.
you talking? No,
Listen,
no,
you're not
no,
recognizing
no.
that
I'm
because
giving our people
yo
the same grace. I'm not giving your organization's
no yo
platform the
no
same grace
no you got to give
because I do not
reparations
think you should
who
be
fighting for the
forging.
true goals
I
of
do
Native
not think you should be
Americans
forging
grace.
a
If you ain't gonna
movement.
give it that,
I don't think you should be forging a movement that identifies with your oppressor's territory, or your oppressor's
so
ideology. And that's what you're doing.
on the
There's nothing
replays, you're not gonna
authentic.
say that, Umar. That's the problem. So that's the
You're
greatest thing
reacting
about
to
replay.
white power.
That's the
Okay,
greatest
let
thing
me ask you
about
this
play.
last question. What are y'all doing
You're not finna keep
to
asking me that and when I answer,
brother, you
start
didn't even
saying
be
bullshit to me,
quiet.
bro.
Listen. What are y'all doing
You just
to make
asked me
things
that
better?
when I was
What are you doing to improve the reality for the American African family that does not involve white folks? That's voting, that's reparations. What are you doing independently, self determination, self reliance? What is your organization doing separate from white folks to make things better for our people? Give me something.
yeah. So no, I was gonna say just respectfully, like I got a little bit out of character because you kept cutting
No,
me
it's
off.
okay. Don't worry
Yeah,
about that. Answer my
look,
question, Brother Ernest.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
thin skinned.
So you asking me a question, I'm about to give you my answer. I'm involved in a number of things. That's including advocating on fucking like
I
political.
want a specific, Ern.
Listen,
Don't give me
I'm,
no general.
I'm
Give
giving
me a
you it.
specific
Giving you it.
project that your organization is working on that doesn't require us to beg from white folks. Give me
So
one
how
thing.
about how about this? You come and meet us and work with us instead
No,
of
no,
coming
no, 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 Ern.
because you a big talker, but you ain't really pushing for the
Cut it
black
out, Ern.
or
I
black.
love you, bro. I love you, bro. I want to point out my central contradiction with the African American tribal groups. And that's the freedmen, the pretendians, the ADOS, the phony black Americans, all of that. I don't see nothing being done for our people that doesn't involve begging white folks. I just asked Brother Erm to give me one thing he doing that does not involve white people. He gave me no answer. So I got to ask you the same question, my love.
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all doing that don't involve waiting for white folks, working with white folks, or begging for white folks to make things better for Black folks in this country?
Okay, so me personally, I am against reparations. Okay, I don't believe that we need the white man to give us anything when we have our own land and this is our land and we can get it right here out the mud like we've been doing it, like our ancestors did it and everything else. We had segregation, we didn't need the white man. We had a bunch of stuff and we never had it. We was getting it before they came and we can get it when they leave. So I'm against reparations. I really just want them to leave us the hell alone. Just leave us alone because we have shown if you leave us alone and leave us by ourselves, we will rise. We will build the banks, we'll build the Wall Street, the jewelry stores, we'll get the oil, the cotton, the tobacco, and we'll get everything we need. So we don't need a European, a Chinese, a African, a Mexican, or nothing can to help us build what we need to build. So I'm not for reparations. I don't need no green dollars. We can get it out the mud ourselves. So I'm against that because when they give you something, they want something in return. And that's how we got in this problem in the first place. That's what the welfare system was all about that we chose to get into back when the 60s and the 60s and stuff like that. So I'm against that. But what I am going to say, as far as these new groups that's trying to build that's about being native to the land, right now we're just finding out the truth of who we are. And so that's the first thing. So we healing
And
from
who
that
are we?
alone.
What is this truth now? Who are we?
The truth is, like your grandmama told you when you asked her where y'all was from, she didn't say Africa. She said she was from right here. Like your great great grandmama told you, you guys are from right here. Because I'm gonna tell
Nope,
you something.
mine
That's
said I was from
So why don't
Africa.
we
well, if
just
you
do
from Africa,
Well, my
wait, we
grandmother
ain't gotta
said.
argue
if
that.
no,
Hey, why don't you just do a DNA test and see if New Jersey come up in your blood sample?
okay,
That
let me
part.
tell you something. What's going to happen? I'm going to tell you something, Dr. Umar Johnson. What's going to happen is,
Well, here's the
when you
difference,
do that
Nakia.
DNA test, when
So
you
let
do
me
that
ask you a
fake
question. Let
DNA
me ask you a
test,
question,
when
Nakia.
you
Let
do
me
that
ask
fake DNA test, hold on,
Nakia,
wait a minute,
wait.
let me answer your question.
Go
When
ahead,
you
go
do
ahead.
that fake DNA test, what's going to come up is a country that just got named in 1960. They're going to say Nigeria and Ghana and West Africa, and these places were just called these in the 60s. Before that,
Okay, but
what
what
was
about
West
the
Africa
kingdoms that
called?
existed where
What
those
was
Right.
countries are?
what was those kingdoms
What
before
about
then?
the kingdoms that
What was those
existed
kingdoms? They're
where
not
those
putting those
countries?
kingdoms on their DNA test. They're putting that country's name, and that country wasn't named
But
that back in
the
1800s.
samples
It's about the
of the
geography.
people in those areas,
Hmm.
listen, they carved up Africa. They did not mix up Africa. So the people who existed in that area of land that is now called Nigeria, all of those kingdoms are still there. They're
Those people
still
are there, but
there.
those people
They're
immigrated from
still
there. Let me
there.
tell you
And
something.
those, no.
Colonization.
They're
Okay.
still there. So if they tell you you're Igbo, the Igbo kingdom is still there. Yes, it's a part of Nigeria, but it is still geopolitically where it was before the white man showed up in Africa.
Okay.
So that does
If
not
we go with that
dismiss
narrative,
the
if we go,
authentic. No, but wait. So let me ask you this. Stay with me.
okay.
You have 256 seven times great grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Every human being on the planet Earth has 256 great grandparents.
Uh-huh.
How many of those 256 for you are Native Americans?
All of them.
And you know this how?
Because can't nobody prove that we
No,
came from
Don't
Africa.
tell me what
You
nobody
can't
can
prove
prove.
us both because my
No.
grandmother told me so.
How
How
does
can you prove
Nikki?
I came from
So
Africa?
do
You
you
can't
have the
tell me I
names?
came from
Do
a
you?
country I know a
The
continent I know
name
nothing
Nakia is
about.
pretty
So
African.
basically, you're Native
Yes,
American
it's
because nobody can
fire.
prove you're not.
I'm indigenous to this land. This is
Oh
my
my
But
God.
soil.
the only way you can
This
prove
is
you're indigenous to this land is to give me the names of your 256 seven times great grandparents.
I don't
But you
listen.
don't know a
All we need
single
to go
name.
back. Oh, listen.
Nakia,
All
you
we don't have
don't
to go
know a
back that far,
single
Dr.
name.
Umar.
Do you see
Go
how ignorant
but
that is?
no, but prove to me they African though. Okay, so prove to me my 256 is African then. So you prove it that they
Okay.
African.
I'm gonna prove this. Is what I want you to do for me. Just do this
Uh-huh.
one thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Get me
Mm-hmm.
the 16 names of your great grandparents, and I'll prove you African.
Okay. All right. I will give you that and I'll get that.
Give me that. I will
Okay,
prove
so
to you.
I'll
Because
give you
the
that. Give me
point
your
that you
information, I'll give you
indigenous
that.
Negroes keep missing
Okay.
is even the Native Americans are a mixed race African people.
Oh my
That's the
goodness.
point that y'all missing. The
Listen.
first
You
people in this country were African people. The
okay, listen,
people
Dr.
that you
Umar.
call native
Dr.
came
Umar.
over here later and mixed with the original Africans who came here.
Okay,
So
Dr.
when
Umar,
you
listen to
say
this.
you are indigenous, you know what you're saying? all you're admitting is that you are an African from an earlier group of immigrants from the mother continent.
And
That's
when you
all
say
you're
you
saying.
African, you're saying you're an immigrant. When you say you African, that means that I am not from this land. When you say you are an African American, you're calling yourself an immigrant, which says that you have
no, you're
no
missing the
rights.
whole point.
You have no rights to this land. I
First
am
of
not going
all,
to call.
I am an African, and my people are the first people to populate every land on this planet. I am the first in Europe. I am the first in America. I am the first in Asia. I am the first in the South Pacific. I am the first everywhere. Yes, I immigrated from Africa. You damn right. And I don't have a problem with that because Africa is the ancestral, spiritual, cultural, and historical homeland of my people. So, yes, I am an African, but everywhere else I got there from Africa. And that's what you self-hating indigenous freedmen, ADOS, FBA, and everything else don't want to admit. You're trying to run away from being black. Your movement is based on self-hatred and the love of white folks.
No, Dr. Umar. I love my
You went to
chocolate
France and
baby.
you already didn't like Africans
Listen.
from
No,
the
no, no, no.
continent when
That's
you
not
went to
true. I
France.
swear to God, Dr. Umar. When I went to Europe, that's the reason why I went. I was like, I'm tired of this racism. I'm tired of this killing over here. I'm tired of all of this that's going on in America. I want to be over in Europe. I think it's gonna be better. Ain't no racism. Ain't nothing. I didn't even know
Wait a minute.
about.
Wait, time out. Wait, stop. Did I just hear you say you want to go to Europe?
No. I'm telling you before. This was my ideology. Let you know that
I'm
I
about
didn't
to
have
say, because
any.
how you talking all this
No, this was
indigenous
before. No,
American
this is
stuff and you want
before.
to run to the white man?
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, 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 no. This is before. I'm telling you, before I went to Europe, I didn't have any racist thought. I wasn't big against Africans. I wasn't against Europe. I wasn't against nobody. I just was like, you know what? Right now, America is too much going on. Let me go over to Europe where it's a little bit more calmer. And when I went over there, I was shocked at what I saw. You know, what I saw firsthand living over there for 2 years. And I'm telling you, my experience with Africa, it's a lot of Africans over there. My experience with it's a lot of Arabs and Muslims over there too. It's a lot of Muslims over there, Arabs, Chinese, a bunch of people over there. So that's my experience. But let's get back to the transatlantic slave trade.
What
So
about
you
it?
mean to tell me? Okay,
We was here
I'm
before the
thinking.
transatlantic slave trade, but go ahead.
Okay, as far as on a business, because slavery was a business, right? Slavery was a business. It was a business.
APOW, African Prisoners of War.
Okay, it was
APOW.
it was a business. So just look at this as a business standpoint. You're a business owner. I'm a business owner. Okay, I'm going to go and get some Africans for this is what 1500s, right? And get
14.
1400s, 1492 or 1400. Get some Africans, all right? How many was fitting on that boat? About 300 of them on the boat. Strap them on the boat. Put them, have them go through the Atlantic, which we know is a long voyage from Africa to America with no motor. Okay, then they going down to the Caribbean and all that. So they going through the hurricane season and everything. We getting them down there, get them over here. They gonna be sickly, they stinky, they ain't had no food, they ain't had no drink, they've been side by side, they funky. I'm getting them over here to a foreign land, which they know nothing about. I'm gonna have to clean them up. Teach them how to till this land, teach them about this land, just so they can till and some cotton and grow some vegetables that they can grow all in Africa, which is supposed to be the motherland, because Africa's supposed to be able to grow all this stuff too. Why would I take you from Africa and bring you all the way to another land and risk my boat sinking, you guys dying, being sickly, and bring you somewhere else just to pick some fucking cotton? It makes no sense. Why would I do that when there's people already on that land that knows how to farm and migrate that land? If
So if I
anything, as a
understand
business
your
owner,
question,
I'm going to
if
keep the African.
I understand your question, Nakia,
Yes.
why didn't the white man enslave the African in Africa instead of bringing him to the New World?
Why would he? It makes no sense.
Is that the question? Is that the question?
Yes.
Because if it is the question, the answer is real simple, sister.
Why?
Europeans were looking for new territories that they could control and offload their excess population. They were interested in building empire.
They didn't colonize Africa until 1881.
Listen. Africa for a long time was ground that the European did not want to touch because he was afraid of it. He had
Oh my
never
God.
investigated the
So
continent.
why you slave? If you afraid, how you gonna enslave the people if you afraid of them? How you
Because
enslave
when
20 million people and you afraid of them? That makes
you're,
no sense.
first of all, when they finally came to Africa and began the slave trade, they were on the coast of Africa,
So
not in
what?
the interior. If
So
you're going to enslave, listen, if you're going to enslave African people and build an economic empire out of it, you can't do that from the coast. You have to go in the inside.
oh
That's
my
one of the
goodness.
reasons why they made deals with African rulers who would go and get the enslaved Africans and bring them back to the coast. It
Okay.
wasn't until Stanley traveled to the heart of Africa into the Congo. And once
Uh-huh.
he crossed the entire continent, he told the white man, we can make it here. Africa was already populated by kingdoms that they would have to destroy, and the white man wasn't able to survive the climate nor the diseases of the
Oh
mother
my
continent.
God.
Wake
It
Listen,
was
up,
not
Africa.
Kim.
feasible. It
Oh
was
my
not
God.
feasible, Nakia.
That
All you
makes
got to do is read the history on European global exploration.
that
He did
makes
not
no sense because
listen.
they were supposed
He
to be
did not
stronger now than they
listen, Nakia. He
Mhm.
did not start going into the African interior until his military technology allowed him to fight the African at a
Wake
distance.
Oh,
up,
okay. So
Study
you
the
mean
history of
so you mean
military.
the ones on the
Yes,
coast, there
colonist.
was no kingdoms on the coast, and the ones on the coast were the weaker ones, so they took the weaker
If
ones.
you're on the coast, you are on the water, sweetheart. Do you know what that
Okay, that don't
means?
mean
If I
you're
got to
weaker.
get the hell out of Dodge, I can get the hell out of Dodge. What I want to go in the interior for of a country I don't know anything about, in a climate that I can barely survive? What are you talking about? Why did they bring Africans to America? Because the Native Americans knew the land too well, so they kept on escaping, and the white man was dying from diseases. So he needed somebody who could withstand those heats and those diseases. And that's why they brought us, because we're the genetically strongest people on the planet Earth.
wake it up.
He did go to
Yeah.
Africa. Do you know that by the time
Say
slavery
that.
ended, he was already colonizing Africa, but he did not start there because he did not think he would be successful there in the beginning.
Oh my good. Okay, Dr. Umar.
The
Okay.
climate of Africa was deemed unbearable by the Europeans. You can study this, sister. You don't have to believe me.
Okay, that's
You can
fine.
study this.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Columbus was in Africa. He got the
Mm-hmm.
map to come over here from
Mm-hmm.
African brothers and sisters. He spent the whole week in one of the slave dungeons in Ghana, either Elmina or Cape Coast. And they teach you that when you go there. So they knew how to come to America because we taught them how to come to America. But they wanted to go to a land that they thought would be much more efficient to conquer and colonize. The
Okay.
white man wasn't about to go into Africa, try to conquer and colonize. He
Okay,
didn't do that until
okay, so
after.
so you mean to tell me when they came over here because they was calling us savages, and when they came over here, we've been fighting they we gave them hell, and we
Them
still give them
calling you a
hell today.
savage means what?
We was fighting them just as much. What battles have you seen the Africans fight versus the battles that we didn't fought? You see, we fought them way
Are
more than
you
the Africans
serious?
fought them.
My
Are
Yes,
you
we did.
serious?
We have been fighting
Are
them more.
you
We didn't fight them
serious?
more than
Yeah,
God.
she's
Africans.
Are
wilding.
you
Yes,
serious?
She's
yes.
misguided.
You
Very
don't know. You
misguided.
don't know.
Every
Yeah.
kingdom in Africa just about fought the Europeans. Yes,
Okay.
they had a few collaborators, but most of us fought the Ashanti Wars, the Zulu Wars. The Ethiopians even beat them. The Zulus even beat them. The white man had to fight for almost 100 years before he
Okay,
could
and we
finally take
fought
Africa
too. The
comfortably.
Seminoles fought. We all we fought as
You
well.
gotta
The Haitians fought.
You
We
not no
fought just
Seminole.
as well. You don't understand.
Listen,
We
listen,
fought
listen.
just as well. You acting
Okay,
like
so
we
you a
didn't fight
Seminole.
also.
But
We
but but
fought just
but
as much as they
how are
fought.
you a Seminole when you can't give me the names of your 16 great great great? So you're sure you're
No,
Seminole,
I didn't
but
say
you don't even know the
my people
names
is
of your
Blackfoot.
16 great great great
My
grandparents. How did
grandmother is
you?
Blackfoot. We're Blackfoot in Osage. I know
Okay,
that
you're
for a fact.
Blackfoot and Osage.
Yes, we are. We're
How
Blackfoot and
many
Osage.
of your 256 seven times great grandparents are
I
Blackfoot
can
and
listen. I can
Osage?
only go back to my great great great
And
grandmother,
here's the
Mrs.
funny part.
Teresa
Here's the
Red,
funny
and we
part.
was all
Here's the
Indian,
funny
baby.
part.
We was all
Your
indigenous.
Blackfoot ancestors and your Osage ancestors have African ancestry as well. That's the
No, they
ridiculous
don't.
part. Yes,
No,
they
they
do.
don't.
Yes, they
They
do.
right here from this
Yes,
land.
they
This is
do.
our land. You can be from Africa and fight from Africa, but I'm gonna fight for America. You
Listen
can
to
go to
me. Your
Africa, but I'm
identity
gonna
is
stay right
false.
here on my land. This
Your
is my land.
identity is false.
No.
Every African on the planet came from Africa. Anybody who tells you you was
True.
in America and didn't come from Africa is a lie, and they cannot prove it. The issue is y'all hate yourself.
No, we
Y'all
love
hate being
ourselves
black.
and we
Y'all
love our
Mm.
hate being
land. That's the
African.
Well,
problem.
And so what
Dr.
you're
Umar, you
doing
don't love the
is
land
you
that
are
you're on.
you're claiming an identity that somebody gave you on YouTube
You don't love the
because for
land that you
you,
own, but you
anything
gonna
is
love a land
better.
that you don't even live on. So
Anything is better.
you love.
Anything is better than being an African. So you
Okay,
will claim
listen to what you're
anything they
telling
give
me.
you.
This land
You
right
can't
here
even
is a
name
land
your
that your
ancestors
mother,
though.
your
You
father,
ain't
and
gave me
your
no
grandparents were
names.
born on, and you don't even love it.
Sister,
You don't
can you
even
give me
love it,
some
but you
names
love
of your
Africa.
what were the names of your Blackfoot ancestors since you're so Blackfoot?
I just,
You can't
I
give me a name, sister.
what you
That's
mean?
ignorant. That's
My great
ignorant.
grandmother, my grandmother Ella, my grandmother Sherm, my grandfather Riley, my grandmother Teresa Red. Baby, we are Blackfoot in Osage. We come from this
Okay.
land. We
Y'all
no one come
Blackfoot
from
in
Africa.
Osage.
And guess what? We
Y'all go
grew
back
and
to
we
what date?
farmed
Give
this
me a date.
land.
Give me a date.
We fought
You
for
can
this
take them
land.
back how far? You can take them back how far?
I can take my grandmother back to the 1800s. My my great great grandmother
18
gave me
what?
to the
18 what?
1800s, like
18 what?
1825. 1825, I can go back that far.
Okay,
We
where
still trying to go back
and
further.
where were they before that?
They were right here on this land. Ain't nobody been from no Africa,
How do
Dr.
you
Umar
know
Johnson.
that if you can only go back to
what?
1825?
Prove that they were from
No,
Africa.
no, no. I need
You
you to answer
cannot
my
prove
question.
it.
You
I'm
told
not finna
me
claim a
that you
foreign
can
land
listen, listen,
when my
listen.
land is
You
right
told
here.
me
You're not finna
you can go
brainwash me to
back to
get me off this land.
1825. If you listen, you told me you can go back to 1825.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go back to Frederick Douglass being 5 years old. Okay, I got you. You can go back to
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Douglass being five. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't know nothing about them people before 1825. And let me tell you why you
Do
don't know
you
nothing
know of
about those
yours
people.
back before
Let me
1825?
tell you why you don't know nothing about those people for 1825.
Because they was in
Because it,
Africa.
thank you.
Oh my God. No,
Thank
they was
you.
not
There
in no
you go.
Africa.
Nah,
They
aren't
were
they
There
right
you
supposed?
here.
go.
They were right
There
here.
you go.
They were
Are
Can
right
you
here.
aware
And
that Native Americans have African ancestry? Do you know that?
Dr. Umar, let me tell you something, Dr.
No, no,
Umar.
I need you to answer
When
my
you
let me
question. No,
tell
no,
her.
I
No,
need you to
let
answer
me
my
tell you
question.
something,
I
Dr.
need to
You
tell
Umar.
her
didn't answer
What
the
you're
story.
question,
doing
Nakia.
when you call
Nakia,
yourself
are
an
you
African,
aware that Native Americans have African ancestry? Yes or no? Are you aware?
they have indigenous American
No, 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 I didn't say
ancestry.
Oh my
indigenous. I said
god.
African. Are you aware of that?
Some may do, but mine don't.
Oh, see,
Now
I
let me
need you
Some
to.
tell
may
her
do,
Okay,
but
okay.
mine
story.
don't.
The
If
Now,
yours
problem
do,
is you're
that's
not
fine.
well read,
Mister,
Sister Nakia.
if
shut
Listen
yours
to
up.
me,
do, that's fine.
Sister Nakia. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is you're not well read. You
Let me
need more historical education.
I don't need no.
Yes,
I
you
don't need
do,
to
my
write
let me
ass
sister.
tell her a
And the
history. I don't
story.
problem
need
with
to
a
write
lot of
ass
you, listen
history
to me.
to
The
lie to
problem with
me
a
and
lot of you,
tell me.
Nakia, listen to me, Queen. The
Mm-hmm.
problem with a lot of you young folks
Mm-hmm.
is you get your education from uneducated YouTubians. That's the problem.
Wake it
You don't read books by real
This
scholars
is
with real
before you said my grandma.
documentation.
This is Dr. Umar. I don't know what you think I've been watching, but I'm telling you what my family told me. I'm
Right, but
not
they can
going
only
They
go
off
back
what
to
weren't
you
well
told
read
1825.
me.
That's
either.
nothing.
I've talked to my family and
1825
they've
is not,
told me,
that's
and
not
I've asked
history.
them, do we? If I call my
You can only
grandmother
go
right
back
now,
to
my grandmother gonna
1825,
say,
sister.
baby, we
That
is
means
not
you
no
know nothing
Africans.
about
That's what my
Sister
Let me
grandmother
Nakia.
tell
told
her.
me.
Everybody over
Period.
here came from somewhere else. And Sister Nakia,
Uh-huh.
you said it sounded like you were making an argument that slavery could not have happened because Africa is so close to Europe and the white man didn't need to go to America to enslave blacks. He could have enslaved us in Africa. Are you leaving out the fact that the white man thought he was going to uncharted, uninhabited territory? Isn't that the reason they called it the New World? He thought he was going to a place where he would not have to fight in order to control and conquer the land. That's one of the biggest reasons why they came over to the Americas, because they thought they were largely unpopulated. And they could not handle the climate of Africa. And they knew Africa had standing kingdoms with standing armies. So they bought their time until the European military arsenal was strong enough to fight the African without having to engage in hand to hand combat. Are you one of those Negroes who believe slavery did not happen?
I do believe that.
Oh my,
You believe
Dr.
slavery
Umar,
did not
I
happen?
do. I do believe.
Dr.
I
Umar,
believe slavery did
Lord
not
have
happen.
mercy.
And you
not
Lord
you
have
guys
just
are entitled
And
to
no.
you
your
Let
base
me
opinion.
that on
defend
what?
my
You
You
base
point.
guys
that
you
on
guys
what?
are entitled to your
Hold on, hold on,
opinion.
hold on. I want to
Dr.
hear her. I want to hear Sister Nakia's. She has a right to her opinion. Sister
Yes,
Nakia,
thank you.
why
Thank
do
you,
you
guys.
believe slavery did not
Got
happen?
a right to her facts.
Because if slavery didn't happen, there was never no Harriet Tubman, no Frederick Douglass, which means I can't exist either because I'm from the same family as Frederick Douglass. I'm a Bailey. So that means how am I even here? But
Okay,
I want
okay,
you to explain how slavery didn't happen.
okay. I don't believe in the transatlantic slave trade. I don't believe we were brought here on boats
So
from
Africans
Africa.
were not brought to America.
I don't believe that. I
So when
believe
you
that
go
when
to
them
Africa,
Europeans came,
so those slave dungeons were made up.
the ones that are in Africa,
They were made up.
they must be, because I believe. Listen, I believe that when they came to this land, when they came over here to this land, and have you read Christopher Columbus journals that he wrote back to the
I
Queen?
absolutely do. And you
Okay,
must
and
not
when he
have.
told
And
them,
you must not have.
they
Because
are
if you read him,
he
he
told
told
them
you he found
he
African people over
they are
here.
a godly people. When he came over here, it was people already here. We were already
And,
here,
and did you read
and
the
we were a
descriptions?
calmly
Did you read
people.
what
We
he
They
were
have
said?
godly
Did
tawny
you
people.
skin.
read
We were
what
a
he
dark
said,
people.
Nakia? Nakia, did you read what
Hmm.
he said? Did you read what he said? What did he
Yes,
say
I
about the
read
people?
what he said. He didn't.
What did
He
he
never
say about the
said that.
people he found?
He never said we came from Africa.
He said that the people he found in the islands, because Columbus never came to America. Columbus came to
He went
islands
to the
off the coast.
Caribbean, right? Exactly.
Absolutely. Vespucci was the first European to come to Columbus.
Right.
And who
Exactly.
did Columbus and what did Columbus describe the people how did he describe the people he saw?
He as dark skinned
Nope,
people, as
tawny. Nope.
godly people, and calmly people.
You
That's
didn't give
what
me the
he
rest of the
said.
descriptions. And how did he describe their hair?
They was woolly and woolly and
Yeah,
kinky. So
and,
that don't
and,
mean nothing because you have African.
and if
Listen, just
you
because you
read
have woolly hair don't mean you African.
and if you read some of Columbus's notations, he also makes reference to the point that the individuals he encountered in the Caribbean islands look just like the ones he encountered in Africa.
Okay, we may look
And
similar, but we're not the same, baby.
then let's do the
We're not
DNA
the
test and let's
same,
see.
baby.
Let's do the
We are
DNA
not the
test and see
same.
if you
That
don't
don't
come
mean
from Africa.
anything.
Pretend you're his
Nakia, can we
neighbor.
do the
Take the
DNA
DNA
test?
test.
Can we do the DNA? Nakia, can we do the DNA test?
Listen, all that DNA is going to tell me that I'm from West Africa, and I know I don't need no DNA test to
so
lie to
so
me,
so
and I know where I'm
so
from,
so let me ask
and
you
I
a
Wow.
know where
question
I'm
then.
from.
So
And
you're
listen,
telling me
this is
all
what I
that
think,
African
Boomer.
history,
This is
all
what I
that
think
African history
is a lie
of
to make
African
you think that you're
princes
an
and
immigrant.
African kings and Africans who went back to Africa even during slavery,
Uh huh.
Africans who fought and sued for their right to return home,
Uh huh.
all of that is manufactured history.
She said it's a
Correct?
lie.
I don't believe it.
Can she please
On that.
stop talking? Because I promise you,
No,
she's
hold on, and
honestly
let me.
she's so long winded, and like I'm
Agreed.
We're
sorry.
gonna
Like
All
Nakia,
the people,
I
asking her to
Listen,
get
you
off
guys
now.
need, but listen, you guys need to be open
Nakia.
to other dialect. You can't just be like,
Well,
oh, a
you've
person
taken
gonna
up a
think the
lot of
way.
space, though, Mary.
No, no,
He's
no. I
giving
No,
you the
I'm
appreciate
right
not.
your
No,
time.
I'm not,
opinion.
because I'm telling you, we are waking up. We are waking up over here, and we're realizing that we're not coming from Africa. And when you say
But you,
the
but
reason why
based
the
on
white
what
man,
proof though?
listen,
Based on what proof?
Dr. Umar Johnson,
Nakia, you
the
waking
reason why
up.
the white man is telling us this because
Nakia, you're
they
waking up
want us
and
to
finding out you not from Africa based on what
listen.
documentation?
Dr.
What
Umar,
is your proof?
they
You
are
ain't gave me
trying
no
to make
proof.
us feel
You
inferior
told me
on this
grandma was
land.
Blackfoot. You ain't gave me no proof that you did not come from the continent. But I'm telling you, we could take a DNA test and prove that you came from the continent.
Okay. All right. Okay.
yeah,
I
thank
love you,
yeah.
Queen. Lord have mercy. My God. Thank God for Pan Africanism.
And you know what? This is
It's actually sick. It's really
it
sick.
is. It's
And you
sad.
know why it's sick, Dr. Goddess, before you continue? It's sick because young people are being influenced. Young people are being influenced by these social network, self-taught fools. They're not scholars. I'm not talking about you, Sister Nikki. This is not about you. But the people who have informed you. These people are not scholars. They've done no original research at all. Everything they got is from the internet, or they might have read a few books, and they are on a crusade due to their own self-hatred to try to convince all African people in this country that you did not come from the mother continent. And let me tell you what makes that argument so sick. The sickest part of the "we ain't from Africa" argument is the fact that damn near every people of color on the planet traces their origin to the continent. This is the sickest part of it. Japanese, Chinese, Mexicans, Arabs. Everybody traces their origin to the mother continent. So, of all the people in the world, there's only one group in the entire planet who will argue you down that they don't come from Africa. And you want me to believe it's a coincidence that it just so happens that these people were the most psychologically terrorized of any people in human history, and that is the American African. Is it a coincidence that we are the only people who will claim we do not come from Africa? We're the only people of color on the earth who will argue we don't come from Africa, and it just so happens we are the most psychologically traumatized group in human history. And that's exactly why they pushing that.